Hello and welcome to this fifth episode in the New Zealand series, and I thought I'd begin by saying good morning New Zealand, which is a welcome we don't hear on our broadcasting, radio or television much these days, and I thought I'd go down to TV3 breakfast show to show you what I mean.
Tūtawa mai I runga, tūtawa mai I raro, tūtawa mai I roto, tūtawa mai I waho, kia taua I te Maori tū, te Maori ora, ki te katoa, haumi e, hui e, taiki e.
Right now though, it has gone 6 o'clock. Here is Indira with your news.
Atamarie, atamarie, atamarie.
Jenni is in with us this morning for your news.
Thanks, Matty. Morena. Morena.
Dobro jutro, here is your 7:30 news.
Whoops, that sounds like Indira did give us a Pacifica intro. So Jenny, why don't you give us an Asian intro as well?
And in Beijing yesterday, Xi Jinping struck a firm line on the decades-long demand for unification. It's unfinished business for the Communist Party. During the Civil War, they defeated the nationalists who fled here, but the Communists never took the island.
We insist on striving for the prospect of peaceful reunification with the greatest sincerity and with the greatest effort. However, we are not committed to abandoning the use of force, and we reserve the option of taking all necessary measures.
And so when you look at the ethnic makeup of New Zealanders, we see that 70% of people identify with being European, and 16% identify with being Maori, and 15% identify with being Asian, and the Pacifica make up the remaining 8%, along with a few other ethnicities from around the world. And in the past, when Maori has been spoken publicly, like on television, there's translation that follows so the majority of people can understand, which is the inclusive approach. But now we're seeing the divisive approach, where they're completely getting rid of the English and just speaking their own language without the rest of us understanding it. And so the Breakfast TV3 show started to get some slack from people, and their response was this 14-minute segment where they called in the experts to justify their position.
Dr. Andrea Claude is an expert in linguistics. We asked her to talk to us about her research into loan words. Loan words are foreign words that are adopted into other languages without translating.
Language is this really interesting feature in this new world where things are changing, and it's unsettling to have change.
Yeah, it can be unsettling, but change is afoot in society and in the media landscape. So we wanted to have a conversation about it, and to have that conversation with us this morning, we are so delighted to be joined by Te Rauhiringa Brown and Jack Tame. Morena.
Morena, Matty.
Kia ora. How are you both? It's a somewhat scary conversation to have, I think, because there is so much division at the moment about whether or not we should be introducing te reo language into mainstream. So, but I wanted to check in with you first, because this is a lot for you to have carried over the last week or so. How are you feeling?
Oh, kai te whaiau. I always think about my tupuna, or my ancestors, my grandfather who's still here, and what he endured. You know, he was physically abused for speaking te reo Māori. So what's a few racist comments, you know? My tupuna were burnt alive in a church. So really, I think it's just continuing their legacy and doing what I can and standing on the shoulders of giants. So that's really how I look at it.
And so there we go, that's that word, racist. And so people who oppose what they're doing are racist, and they're only a small minority, according to the experts. But we know that only 50,000 people can speak Maori fluently out of a population of 5 million, which is only 1%. And so they are the minority.
I just think that small minority are very loud. They're very loud, and some media outlets like to take those, I guess, loud comments and amplify them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wrong, Matty, because you said it's divisive. I don't actually agree that it's nearly as divisive as maybe we think it is.
Right.
In that I think there's a fraction of New Zealand society that gets really upset when they hear real Maori words, or they see te reo on TV, and how amazing is te reo doing that?
Yeah, I know.
And yet I actually don't think that's like, I don't think it's like a 50-50 split.
No.
I think there's like this tiny sliver of New Zealand society, and I think they've got really loud voices, or maybe just really powerful keyboards, because they never ever say anything to your face. They only ever write a few comments on Facebook. And I actually don't think that's representative of New Zealand today. I think it's just this tiny little pocket of people.
And so because of this confrontational and divisive nature of mainstream media these days, some people are turning away from TV1 to TV3. And last year in 2021, around about September, TV3 came out and said our ratings are higher than TV1's now. And so let's have a look at TV3 and see how they do it.
No mai, haere mai. It is Tuesday the 18th of October. You're watching AM and it's lovely to have your company this morning. Thanks to Hana Chorus. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I like that colour on you, Aotearoa.
Thank you, Brian.
Very beautiful.
Sky blue, isn't it?
Yeah,
you've gone for every other colour.
I've just tried to have one colour that complements me. Something, put them all on and something will work.
Yeah. Hey, I would love to be a fly on the wall watching Nanaia Mahuta's speech to the local government. I'm assuming it's local government New Zealand conference that Mitch was talking about there. That'll be a frosty reception, won't it? It'll be fiery. For a talk about water, it'll be fiery today. Also, I love Wayne Brown's approach to the media, and this is an odd thing to say because he's not speaking to us, but, you know, it's kind of like he's just going to wait until he actually has something to say. At the moment, he's basically trying to fire everyone left, right and centre.
Which is something to say, surely.
Well, he hasn't done it yet, has he? I mean, if he had come out and done a press conference, like most politicians would, they come out and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and this is going to be great. You know, that would be your typical approach. He's taking a different route. He's saying, I'm going to fire these people and fire these people and gut this organisation and gut that organisation and say no to this and no to that. And once I have something to say, then I will speak to you. I don't know, there's something quite... not charming, but something a little different about that I hope holds some promise for progress.
Yeah, I mean, he's using a sledgehammer, isn't he? But we were warned, this was his campaign, that he was going to do this. So it's not like it's come as a surprise. As long as we do hear from him as Auckland ratepayers at some point, not saying, oh, he has to come and talk to the media. Talking to the media is talking to your ratepayers. So at some point, it'd be nice to hear from him. Yeah. Right, coming up this morning, gang numbers have skyrocketed in the last 5 years, with young people joining in droves. Former drug lord Billy McFarlane tells us why at 7:10.
Aotearoa, it's 1 minute past 6. Auckland police have responded to several burglaries overnight as the latest crime wave grips the city. Officers descended on Mission Bay just after 2 this morning, where 2 stores were hit by break-ins. Just over an hour later, a liquor store in East Auckland was hit. It's believed Police were talking to one person at the scene, and then a short time later, police were called to Parnell Road, where a gift shop window was smashed in, with the offenders understood to be trying to gain access to a neighbouring dairy. It's unclear if they're linked or if any arrests have been made. A rise in rejection from families is partly to blame for skyrocketing gang membership numbers. In 2017, the national gang list had just over 5,000 people on it, but by the end of August, that number rose to 7,835, a 55% increase. One of the age brackets with the biggest spikes is 18 to 25-year-olds, going from 514 to just under 900 in the same 5-year period. Manukau Ward Councillor Al Filipaina told News Hub Live at 8 that gangs recruit young people by offering to be their new family.
What the recruiters of these gangs are doing is saying, we are the replacement, we are your family. So that's what's happening there. They're getting enticed into, once they're in there, and they get fed money, they get fed all the stories. They think, yes, these people are the ones.
The number of gang members under the age of 18 grew by 220% in the last 5 years.